It's time for Quick Calls with Mike the Ref on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network.
All right, folks, it's Mike the Ref here at the Northgate Lions Senior Centre, and fans are just filing out. We were part of a sold-out show tonight.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Oh, without a doubt. It was PWA Christmas Slam, and we had, 7 great matches on this card. An unbelievable set here. We're going to be joined soon by the wrestling mind, Brian Hamilton. And just a reminder, folks, at the end of the podcast, we have a very special announcement.
Very special.
And this is going to be groundbreaking for you guys. So, but let's get on to these matches here. So right off the bat, we had the PWA Tag Team Championship match, and it was with the Millennial Rebels taking on Team Hall of Fame. This match here, you could tell the Team Hall of Fame really wanted those titles, but it had a decent vibe to it, but just a couple things were off tonight on that match. In the end, there was a low blow by Colton Kelly on Duke Durango, and then they got the 1-2, on Chris Steele, sorry. He got it right in the steals and ended up getting the 1-2-3 victory for the Rebels, and they retained their championships. Andre, your thoughts?
I thought really great opener to kick off a crowd. You have the team that's hated by everybody in the Rebels except for me, and the team that's loved by everybody in the Team Hall of Fame, but except for me, because Duke will always be dirty to me. I thought just a fun opener. It's always you kick a crowd off with a fun time, and this was it. Like I enjoyed this match. It's a great way to kick off what actually became a really great night of wrestling.
Yeah, like I said, it just seemed that finish came out of nowhere a little bit here. Just looked a little, I'm not going to say off, but just a little different, which sometimes is good to have. So. Oh yeah. And I got a feeling that these guys are far from being the last time these two are going to match up with each other. All right, now coming up next, we had the PWA Commonwealth Championship being defended by the Fury Kenneth Anthony as he took on, I would say, somewhat of a newcomer to PWA in a wrestling aspect, Mo Jabari.
Red pants.
Now this match also went rather well. You knew that the Rebels were going to get involved throughout this match, and they did.
They always do.
And the only comment I have about the Rebels at ringside is for Dr. Kyoto.
What's the traveling millennial?
What in the world was that outfit that he was wearing, that coat?
Okay, I literally heard a dude yell, "You got the 101 Dalmatians." He killed 101 Dalmatians, so.
Yeah, but he must have skinned them and cut out the black versus the white.
I guess so.
Folks, you're going to have to check out the VOD or the DVD to take a look at this for sure. In the end, the Fury does get the victory and retains his championship on a quick roll-up. That was just like the last match, sort of out of nowhere and just abrupt. I think that's the best way to put it. Andre, your thoughts on the match?
I thought a great match. Fury looking great as always, succeeding as normal. And then you got Mo Jabari actually improving every time we see him. Like that, I think he got better. It gets better, and I think he's doing well. It's fun, but Rebels are always going to cheat. They're always everybody lives by the Eddie Guerrero motto. It seems like all heels do: cheat to win, baby.
And now we're joined by the wrestling man, Brian Hamilton. Brian, you want to throw your thoughts on that match?
Oh, overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. Mo did a really good job. He held his best, but in the end, Kenneth won. He had to hold tight, cheat, but he got the win. Good for him. Who knows what's up for Mo now?
Yeah, like I said in the first match, I don't think this rivalry is over yet. There's going to be another match between these two, without a doubt. Oh, yeah. Now, moving on to our next match, and this was a rather interesting match, I think is the way you would put it.
Interesting.
The PWA Mayhem Championship was being defended. So a sweater match. Yes, an ugly sweater match, folks.
Sweater match.
Ugly Christmas sweater match. Michael Allen, Richard Clark taking on the champion, Bryce the Slammer Silva. I enjoyed this match just for the mere fact that it was not supposed to be
good.
It was not supposed to be a catch-as-catch-can classic, and it wasn't. In the end, Slammer throws on a sleeper onto Clark, knocks him out, and puts that sweater on him. As certain people were singing Christmas carols at him, but I digress to who that was. Andre, your thoughts on the match?
I thought this was the funnest match of the night, just for kind of pure fun enjoyment, because Slammer's always just crazy maniac, and him trying to put a sweater on somebody is just hilarious, and Michael Allen Richard Clark just being disgusted by the sweater, just the utter look of disgust for the look of the sweater that he saw. It was hilarious. I love this pure fun comedy, but some good action. I loved it.
Brian, your thoughts on the sweater match?
Oh, I thought this was a pretty great match. It was back and forth. Michael did push-ups on Slammer, and then a little bit later, Slammer did push-ups on Michael. And then he dropped a big elbow after 9 on him, so it was great to see it. And in the end, yeah, like you said, put the sleeper on him. Nighty-night for Mr. Mark. He went night-night. Sweater went on. He lost. Slammer retained.
Yeah, like I said, you're not supposed to expect a catch-as-catch-can classic there, but you did expect some entertainment. You definitely did get that in that match.
Yes.
But then from there, we went to one of our first special attraction matches in a night that definitely did not disappoint. Kat Von Hees taking on Brandy Rhodes. Now, first of all, Brandy Rhodes coming out in American Dream gear.
Yes.
Black with yellow polka dots.
Heck yeah.
And Kat Von Hees, I know she's had a few opponents here and there that probably you would consider newbies or those that can't keep up with her quite a bit. This was a hell of a match between these two. Going move for move, back and forth. Both of them hit their finishers on each other, with Brandy hitting that face buster, double sit-out face buster, and Kat Von Hees hitting that sharpshooter with the bridge. Neither one of them got the
hair on that one.
Yeah, well, she pulled the hair, causing the break on that. In the end, it ended up being a roll-up for the 1-2-3, with your winner being Brandy Rhodes. Andre, your thoughts on the match?
I thought great women's match. Brandy, she's only been doing this in the ring for the last year or two, maybe. Really since about the time her and Cody left WWE about a year ago or whatever, a year and a half ago or whatever it was. And she looks really good in the ring. She looks pretty strong in the ring for only being a year, whatever it is, a year or two in, and to keep up with a girl at the quality of Kat Von Hees is tough for a lot of female wrestlers. And Brandy did. She looked great. Kat, as always, looking awesome in the ring. Cause is a powerhouse of wrestler. Brandy had the armbar spot on, and then Kat just lifted her up with pure ease, and then just slammed her down. And I thought just great match, and Brandy picking up the win here and showing that she's becoming the best woman around in wrestling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, your thoughts?
Oh, wow. I thought this was a really great match. You had Kat Von Hees, she's got the power. And then you had Brandy, she's more lighter, she had the speed. But this match was back and forth between these two. Like I said, they hit their finishers on each other, couldn't get it done. And in the end, Brandy did get a win with the roll-up. I mean, this was a great match. These two knew how to perform. I love this match. I hope would love to see Brandy and Kat go at it again, because they put on one hell of a great match for the fans tonight.
Absolutely, and if you guys want an example of Kat Von Hees' power, check her out on Facebook. There's been videos of 969-pound deadlift, squat deadlift.
Don't mess with Kat.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it right there. But speaking of Kat Von Hees right now, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Line Warrior Bobby Sharp,
yes,
her husband, who just went under surgery over the last couple of days, just had some surgery performed on him. Best wishes on a speedy recovery. So, all right, I got to take a breath here because we got 30 minutes of breath going on here, and Andre just fired up.
Greatness. That's all I can say. Greatness.
Well, this match here was set for a 30-minute time limit and became a title versus title match, ROH versus PWA Championship.
So we got 2 PWA Championship matches tonight.
You had Cody Rhodes taking on Michael Richard Blais. Now,
My main event of the night has... Yeah.
Well, of course. Folks, if you were here for last year, last Christmas Slam, they had Blais and Rhodes won
For the GFW Next Gen Championship.
which ended up being a very good match. Like we called it was the Edmonton SPN match of the year. So this match, I'm gonna say right now, in my opinion, it topped what we saw last year.
Yeah. Like, dude, this is easily. I don't think I can put anything else I've seen on the Indies this year ahead of this. I think this is probably gonna be my Indie match of the year.
Yeah, it's far and beyond anything that we could have imagined. They started right off the bat going pillar to post at each other,
And
spots
coast to coast.
spots over the top rope, all 4 sides. You had Rhodes hitting the crossroads twice. You had
3 times. Technically, he hit it 3 times because he hit it outside onto the chairs, and then they came back in and he did it twice more in the ring.
And then you also have Blais hitting the brain buster twice in the ring as well as a sick 450 with 15 seconds left on the clock.
No, that was a 6:30.
Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, it was a 6:30 as he sat out at the end of it there. But in the end, Blais could not muscle up the strength to get over for the cover in time to get the 1, 2, 3. It looked like Cody was going to kick out, but the time limit elapsed on 2.
Like, literally, as the ref hit the mat for 2, you heard the announcer yell 0.
So either way, folks, before we get to the aftermath of the match, Andre, you got any other thoughts before I set it off to Brian? I know you got lots to think of
Go to
here.
Brian first. Go to Brian first.
Okay, Brian.
Oh, this was this was one of the greatest matches I've seen in a long time. These two, what a clinic they put on for us tonight. Back and forth, inside our ring, outside of the ring. And to go 30 minutes with these two went at, my God. I would love to see these guys go at it sometime down the road, maybe a longer match, Iron Man or something. But, I mean, overall, this was one of the best matches I've seen MRB ever have, and praises to him. He showed why he's one of the best in Alberta, and he stood toe-to-toe with Cody tonight.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we could get a 60-minute match just for the fact that these guys laid everything out. I think they were completely spent by the end of it. I know that Rhodes went out for an autograph session following the match. It took him a good 5 minutes to get out there, and he looked completely worn out from it.
Yeah.
But
okay,
he usually doesn't go to that point. Okay, Andre, I've been stalling enough. Go ahead.
Okay, so as both these gentlemen have said, it's one of the best matches we've seen probably in our lifetime live. I know it is for me. I absolutely love this match. Like, I actually, at points, like, I'm a wrestling fan, but I'm not a supermark. I understand. You understand. There's not going to be an ROH title change on a local indie show unless he was facing Dalton Castle.
Well, the one thing that made this interesting, though, he said if he won the PWA championship, he would
to get to that.
He was going to defend it in the main event.
So,
anyway.
And then with the PWA title in line, there was points where I'm thinking, oh my God, is Cody going to work twice tonight? Are we going to see him in a ladder match? I was kind of, and then like I'd say 25 minutes in, I got lost in it so much. I started believing MRB could become ROH champion. That's how like sucked into that match I got. There's points in there that I was believing it. Like I was going complete mark to the mark's edge and believing that. Ryan, I have to say this to you right now. I'm saying this to you, Ryan. So I know you're listening. You made a huge mistake not coming to this show because, my friend, you missed probably the greatest match of your lifetime, my friend.
Well,
so far.
It's definitely an opportunity to pick up Christmas Slam on DVD or on online digital, which is always a great option there.
Definitely.
Have a great Christmas.
We'll continue on talking about this, I'm sure, when we get to our highlights of the night here. But let's move on here to intermission.
No, let's go to the aftermath of this match.
You guys.
I have to.
All right, fine. Okay, following the match, Cody comes in the ring and basically says he doesn't want to do the usual put you over, shake your hand.
He said he's a big fan of MRB.
Yeah, but honestly, how could you not be? Regardless of your political affiliation with him, he still is a hell of a talent. Now, he announces that he doesn't want to do the old shake your hand and whatnot stuff. He offers that anytime MRB wants to go to ROH, there'll be a door open for him, which I know everybody except the promoter wanted that to happen.
I want that guy in ROH so goddamn bad.
Yeah, so... But on top of that, he said, MRB, if you can find a couple friends in the locker room, he will bring a couple friends. Two specifically, and the crowd went nuts.
Just started chanting Young Bucks.
Either Young Bucks and then Be the Elite.
Yeah, well, that's still a reference to the Young Bucks. And then he literally goes, I guess you guys know who I'm talking about.
Well, let's face it, folks. We're going to get the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and PWA sometime. I'm assuming sometime in 2018.
I don't care when. Just bring it in, Kurt. Bring it.
It was an amazing announcement there. Well, let's go to intermission now. Fair enough?
Sure.
Okay. After that, we had our 7-way scramble match for the number 20 entrant in the big.
I don't even know if it's number 20. It's just the final entrant.
The big Resolution Rumble. They do it,
Rumble.
Yeah, every January they have this Rumble to determine who's going to get the title shot at the anniversary show.
Yep.
So you had Nick Merrick, the Tiger Ali Safe, Andre's favorite wrestler, Kenny Stryker, the returning Aiden Adams, Andre's other favorite wrestler, the high flyer Jeff Tyler.
Hashtag I hate Jeff Tyler.
Sheik Akbar Shabazz, and the Omen Gabriel. What we didn't know about this match. What we didn't know about this match is the special referee that was assigned to this match, PWA Northern Commissioner Andy Anderson. Now,
the return of Andy Anderson, baby.
As soon as we saw that, gears are going through in our head about what.
I was so happy.
You were, we weren't. In the end, it got to one of those spots. Well, basically, when it comes to the match, let me go there first. 6- and 7-way matches have a tendency to be a bit of a cluster all over the place.
Fumble?
Yeah, that's the word. Everybody goes out and hits their finishers, and then you have Aiden Adams and Blues Kenny Stryker in the ring. Yeah. Aiden gets into the corner, punches the Sheik. Referee Andy Anderson considers that a tag.
Well, technically, a tag is anytime you connect with somebody that's taggable in. Technically, that's a tag. In my eyes, it was.
All right. We'll get rid of semantics there. He comes in and hits his burning hammer on Aiden Adams and ends up pinning for a very quick 1-2-3. I never thought Andy Anderson's arm could move that quick, but I guess the old lion can still go here. Brian, your thoughts?
Overall, it's not a bad match. All 7 guys put on a great show, but in the end, Andy had to kind of do a fast count and allow Sheik to get the win. But great for Sheik because now he's the last person in the big Battle Royal match in January. So can't wait to see that.
Andre?
I enjoy this. Like I'm a big fan, Andy Anderson fan. So the Alpha Wolf is one of my favorite people in the world. I like this. She I guess when you saw Andy, you kind of got this feeling. You kind of know she's gonna win because they're tag team partners together, and you just kind of it as soon as you see it because Andy isn't he's always sheep bastard.
Yeah. Myself personally, I didn't feel it was necessary to have Andy in the match. There could have been enough chicanery that she could have came out with a victory anyway. It is a 7-man cluster all over the place. As soon as I saw Andy, I'm pretty sure I knew who was going to win the match. So, but overall, it still was a good competitive match. I'm not a big fan of these multi-man matches like this, where it's every man for himself. And coming off the high of that 30-minute Broadway we just had.
And the announcement of him wanting to bring back his friends. You got a lot of things that hit the crowd, and
it's a bit of overload. I
will say this. I was overloaded by that point.
Well, the thing is, the fans here are a little different than in some other areas. They're not used to this overload of information, and it can affect the crowd a little bit, but I think everybody really enjoyed it regardless. But then,
heck yeah, I had so much fun watching it. It just...
The reactions
weren't as hardcore, right? I noticed a lot of the crowd.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like it was a bad match or anything. We just,
Let's move on to our main event, the ladder match between Brandon Van Danielson and Sean Moore for the PWA Championship.
That was interesting.
Without a doubt. The X factor in this match was Connie Lynn Blais actually was ring cuffed around a ring post.
Yeah.
This match between these two, it honestly went back and forth. Neither guy got a real solid advantage. The one that took the most punishment, I think, was Brandon Van Danielson, especially if you look at his back post-match.
Okay, so there were BVD was on the top rope. Sean Moore on the ground. Sean Moore has a ladder. He throws it at BVD. BVD catches it, throws it back at Moore, and then comes off and does his drop kick into the ladder, but he lands. His lower back lands right on the foot of the right at the bottom of the foot area, and drives right into his back, and it created this just gross welt.
Yeah, the ladder normally gives a little bit more of a push, but it gripped the ring, and then it affected his back big time. Amongst other shots too, like BVD took a hip toss a backdrop into the ladder. Yep. You could see the rungs dent in there. The end of the match ended up with, I guess the Edmonton SPN turning point would be when Connie Lynn Blais got nailed by BVD after Sean Moore rocketed him into the corner.
Yeah, on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, and Connie Lynn Blais got knocked out. Security took her out of the way, but Michael Richard Blais came out to check on her. This ended up becoming a 2-on-1 gang-up.
He got pissed. I don't blame him. I'm happy the way it ended up, but you can't blame him or me for getting pissed because his girlfriend got hurt, or his fiance got hurt.
Oh, I don't blame him at all for what he did. Like, as much as I question MRB scruples lately, I cannot question his resolve in this situation here.
And there's the fact is he was protecting his championship in the end too.
Yeah, well, of course. BVD ends up chopping Sean Moore so hard that he falls through a table, snapping that table in two.
Then MRB went to the top, was going to do a dive, but then Sean comes back, attacks BVD, kind of puts him down,
and then goes up the ladder, attacks MRB. MRB flies off the top of the ladder and lands on the mat. BVD once again gets him to the ground, catches him, puts him in a tombstone pile driver, follows it up with a lariat, and as BVD's going up for the title, MRB's holding down Sean Moore.
Like he grabbed him by the foot so he couldn't climb up.
Yeah. So, and BVD grabs the title, so he is the winner, and they're still co-champions, the Western Lions. Brian, that was a lot, and I know you're not very happy about this, so go and launch.
Overall, this was a great match. And for once, I didn't even get hit by a ladder. It's a miracle tonight. I was safe. Hallelujah. But overall, I thought this match between the two was really great. It was back and forth. But like I said, Connie, she did take a major blow. She got knocked out. and which allowed MRB to come down, get involved. And, well, he did his job. He helped Brandon keep the title. Again, apparently, it's the only way that they know how to keep the title is by cheating to keep it. So,
as Eddie Guerrero said, cheat to win.
I know, but hey, they know how to do it. They do it good. Good for them. So who knows what the challenges are in the new year? Hopefully, they have some stiff competition.
Yeah, as I said during the thing, I love this match. Like, again, the fatigue factor from earlier was still set in, but I still enjoyed the hell out of this match. I at points, like, I was thinking, like, man, Sean Moore might win this, but in the end, my hopes, my prayers were answered, and MRB and BVD keep the championship.
Absolutely, and it definitely wrapped up the year in PWA in a great sense.
Sure.
Well, you know what?
For me, yes. For Brian, no.
Yeah, well, it ended it with a great match. That's what we wanted, and a great show.
A great show overall.
And that's the way you want to end the promotion off for the year. So,
and we had a great crowd to come out tonight.
I can actually announce the fact that we did have a sellout, and that people were not able to get in to watch the show.
To turn people away because we were at fire capacity. Like, you couldn't let people in because of fire marshal code. Like, how many?
It's
this building can hold
unbelievable.
like 600 or something like that.
It's 500 plus. It's all I know.
550 or something. But yeah, we weren't allowed to bring more people in. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Or not we, but PWA. I'm not saying.
Well, that sort of leads into the other big announcement that happened during the show.
Yeah.
The anniversary show for PWA is going to be returning to their first home of Nate, and they've announced that their first major guest that's going to be coming in is former PWA wrestler and former WWE and NXT wrestler, formerly known as Emma. We know her as Tanya. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of an announcement. Wow. It's a hell of an announcement by PWA, and they're stealing the show once again.
Oh, I can't wait. I honestly can't wait to see him. And he said this is the first announcement for that show.
Well, you know what happened the last time we were at Nate, right?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, did I bring that up again?
I was in Montreal.
Yeah, the last time they had Nate, they had Jay Lethal versus Lance Storm here, folks. So you do know that PWA is going to deliver on that. So
I got to see Evan Adams that night.
All right, folks, time for the highlights of the night here, and I guess I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with a match that it wasn't advertised as described, and that's the ugly Christmas sweater match. I'm going to go with that just because they turned something that you go scratch your head about and turn it into a real good match.
You literally think if that was on paper, you'd go, what the hell? And then this was just amazing.
Yeah, and last year they had a Christmas present match at Christmas Slam, and I really enjoyed this one.
Featuring Dusty Adonis.
Yeah, and that's my highlight of the night. I get a bonus one later, but we'll get to that later. Brian, your highlight?
Oh, my highlight of the night, well, since Amanda's not here, I got to take it for her. The women's match. I'm sorry, but this was a really great match between the two, Brandy and Kat. Kat had, like you said, had the power, Brandy the speed, and in the end, Brandy picked up a huge win over a veteran in Kat, and it was great to see. I would love to see these two go at it again down the road.
And I don't even know if I have to ask Andre.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty sure.
You all know what it is. It was the PWA's and ROH championship match. Okay, everybody knows my love for MRB, and I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I had such a great time with this match. And Ryan, you missed something awesome. But still, I just, everything they did, the multiple crossroads, the multiple brainbusters, the FU 450, and he got his knees up, the FU 630, just so much great. Oh, and Ryan, one other thing. During this match, MRB went to the outside, and he ended up landing on what would have been your chair. Your friend, MRB landed on your friend that you gave the tickets to, so you missed MRB landing on you, buddy.
Okay, Andre. I think you can contact him later for all this stuff. It's all good.
Amazing match overall.
And I get the bonus one tonight, and I think it's point blank. Another sellout.
Another great crowd.
I've been at 6 shows in a row now over the last 2 months, and all 6 shows were either 90% capacity or above.
Just killer.
Yeah, people that tell me that wrestling in Alberta is dying, the hell no.
Hell no, man.
And it is getting bigger every week. But speaking of which, holy segue here.
Bigger.
I mentioned at the start we're going to have a big announcement here. I've been bringing out other announcements here over our last quick call shows. The first one being about Total Nonstop Anarchy and MPW Madness. God, I need to delete that little section I put in there. MPW Madness is going to be a thing with us, as well as we have PPW going to have their Power Slam show with us. But I have some bad news and I got some good news here. The bad news is this is the last PWA quick calls we are going to have on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network.
Yep.
The good news is effective January 1st, we are actually going to be expanding and changing our name to Backbreaker Media. Let's face it, folks, a lot of our shows are no longer just in Edmonton. When I started the Blown Call in 2011, it was just a CFL and WWE podcast. When Andre came in 2015, we expanded our thoughts about what we were going to do with it.
Talked about pretty much everything in general wrestling, and we started covering the local indie shows we were going to.
So then we changed it to the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. But now, starting in 2018, because we are expanding once again, Western Canada wide. I'm going to go into more detail on it on a personal podcast, video cast later on, because let's face it, you guys are here for the PWA show, but I've started to change the branding already. If you want to get a hold of us on Twitter, it is Backbreaker Media without the A, because we're Canadian, we already know we're A.
Backbreaker Medi, baby.
Yep. The Facebook page is going to change. I got a lot of announcements coming up exactly how things are going to be distributed. We have people set up in Lethbridge and Red Deer already besides me to cover their shows. If you are listening to this podcast and you want to cover your area of wrestling, we are wide open to accepting people. We got guidelines set up. We're here for the fans, and we are fans, and we want to keep that growing. So, but we'll discuss that on my future podcast here. Another Blown Calls show I got to come up with.
And I'm also looking at expanding some of the stuff I'll be doing too on the network too. So
yeah, I'm going to get into that once again on that Blown Calls show coming up. But I think we're going to wrap this up here, folks, because
I think it's time to go home.
I don't want this as long as we had the last one here.
I apologize, okay?
All right, Andre C., I want to thank you for joining me here.
Always happy to be here. Check me out on Twitter, @ThatCanadaGuy, on Instagram, @ThatCanadaDude.
And the Wrestling Mind, Brian Hamilton.
Always a pleasure, and you can catch me on Twitter at The Wrestling Mind.
Now, the next time you're going to catch all of us here is the next Quick Call show, which is going to be coming up next Saturday from the Alberta Avenue Arena with Monster Pro Wrestling Blitzkrieg 3, an Edmonton SPN original. I guess I got to say that. Yep. 6-way gauntlet match for the heavyweight championship. So it's going to be a very interesting experience. So on behalf of everybody here, I want to thank everybody for listening. You can get a hold of me at Mike the Ref on Twitter. And just remember, folks, if you're going to make a good call, make a quick call. And this has been Quick Calls covering the PWA Christmas Slam Show 2017 from the Northgate Lions Senior Centre.
MRP.
Here for the last time on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network.
This has been Quick Calls with Mike the Ref on the Edmonton Sports Podcast Network. Contact us on Facebook or check out edmontonspn.podbean.com.